definitely will be helpful. So we now have, looks like everybody here, we have a quorum. We have me, we have Rachel, we have Raquel, we've got Dennis, and we've got Tom, because I do not see who's missing here.
Zach's absent.
Zach's absent. Okay. So there we go. All right. So it is 7 o'clock. It is now time for the New Paltz Planning Board. And let me pull up the documents that I'm using. Okay, so we're going to get started now. This is the Village of New Paltz Planning Board regular meeting of Tuesday, January 19th. Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. We have just a few things that are going on at this time with Planning Board. Let me pull up the agenda here. And we will have some administrative business to look at. We're going to have approval of the minutes, updates from the village board, public comments, and then we will move on to application review, a pre-application for a site plan. So with that in mind, did everyone get a chance to take a look at the minutes?
Yes.
Anything that we need to discuss related to the minutes? I noticed that we did have that one correction that Rick made of the find instead of fund. But other than that, I think that that was the only thing I saw. Anybody else have any comments on those?
No, they look good to me.
Okay. All right. So I will need a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting in January 19th.
So motion.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Very good. So we have now approved the minutes. We do now ask for some updates from our friends at from the Village Board, UCPB or EPB. Bill Murray, are you there?
I am.
All right. So do you want to give us any updates from the
Sure. Not too much to report other than the 5 Broadhead. We're waiting for the attorneys to get back so we can close on that particular parcel. The mayor's asked me to lead the charge in getting the RFP out and working with potential purchasers of the property. So I'll be working on that on a pretty continual basis for the next couple of months. I'm still very much looking forward to seeing the interior of the building, along with a few potential parties who are interested. The second thing I want to mention is the short-term rental law will be up for a vote at our next meeting, which is February 10th. It's been in public hearing for the last couple of months, and we feel we've got a strong law there that's beneficial to our residents, and tune in if you're interested.
Very good. Thank you, Will. Appreciate it. Now, I do not see Don here.
No, I don't think he's here.
Okay, so we will be moving past the Environmental Planning Board updates. All right, so we're going to be moving on to the public comment. Alana, have you had any public comments?
I'm going to just interrupt for a very important
Certainly.
message or question.
Certainly.
Corey, have you been banned to your basement, or that's just
I was wondering the same thing. I was like, is that a background that I don't have?
It's just a background. Believe it or not, it's actually a picture of a mechanical room in one of the Green Acres development houses. So that's all geothermal behind me, but it's just a picture from one of my inspections. That's it.
Oh, that's great. I actually thought that you were stuck in your basement.
No, I'm not stuck in the basement.
I wasn't going to question it because, every family has their own unique things. So,
I love how Rick deemed it as really important.
yeah. All right. So now let's get back here. So public comments. Alana, have you had any public comments that we need to be aware of right now?
No, nothing pertaining to any particular application. or
Okay. We
speaking.
will circle back around, giving people time to make any comments later in the meeting. So with that in mind, we now have an application review. It's a pre-application of the site plan, special use permit. Does not have a planning board number as of yet. It is 5 Platic Hill Avenue. The district is B2. And Mr. Keenan, you're here to give us a little bit of information about it. So go right ahead. You have our attention. You have the floor.
Sure. I don't see, is Andrew Willingham, is he?
He is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'll do a quick overview of my plan. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the owner operator of McGillicuddy's Restaurant for the last 25 years. I live in town. My business partner owns and operates Novella's Catering Hall in town. We've owned this property for 4 years. We have a tenant that just closed and left. And my vision for that property, with really witnessing the pandemic and what it's done to the restaurant business, I'd really like to put an outdoor cafe into that spot, because I really see the future of the restaurant business is really going to be focused on outdoor dining.
Now, when you say outdoor cafe, would the kitchen be outdoors or just the seating outdoors? Will there be dual seating indoor and outdoor?
Yeah, I believe the building, the retail space is about 1,900 square feet. There'd be a kitchen inside, a small bar, some inside seating, but a bulk of the seating would be outside.
Okay.
So if I could just explain the site a little bit. There's multiple uses on the site. There's one building that has 6 one-bedroom apartments, and that's going to remain unchanged. The part that we're talking about used to be the laundromat for a while, and then now it's the Smokes for Less, and that's the part that would get converted to the restaurant where they make the food. And then the tables would all be in the outdoor area there, the area next to the municipal parking lot there. And I just want to we got Corey's comments. I just want to kind of let the board know that, we have a lot of work to do. This is a conceptual review. We know we need to provide landscaping, lighting, building elevations, all kinds of information. We want to get in front of you and just kind of get some big picture comments from you guys at this time. Brian's committed to doing something really nice there. Right now, it's basically the parking lot. And, we're already talking about possibly a little mini stone wall to kind of separate the customers with landscaping. And I think it's going to be a big improvement to a spot that has a lot of potential there.
Okay. Corey, you did have some information that you wrote about. Now you're on mute. There you go. Would you like to go over the note that you wrote, just so that everyone can be aware of it?
Sure. So I'm actually going to say the same thing Andy did. This is more of just things, really quick cursory review. Obviously, we do something much more in depth once the application moves forward. These are more talking points, things that I pointed out kind of to give Andy and his team a heads up of stuff you'll be looking for later on down the road. So that's mostly what this is, but I'll go through point by point. So basically, I just outlined the use of the property. Sorry, the building on the property is that of a mixed use building. That's the use that we're talking about. We're not trying to change the use, if I'm correct, from reading the notes. So what happens is you have 2 uses. One which does need a special use permit, so you have to kind of treat that as separate. So I just tried to clarify for everybody what we're looking at as far as the individual building itself, because it does contain residential and it does contain commercial, so it fits the definition for mixed use. The parking, that's something for you to talk
Corey?
about. Yeah.
Corey, can I ask a question? Because
Yep.
we're a little bit confused about this. Certainly there is the special use for special use permit needed for mixed use building. But also the use table says that there's a special use permit required for an outdoor cafe restaurant in the B2 district. But the district regulations do not identify the outdoor cafe restaurant as an SUP use. Have you looked at that before?
So that's why I have, and that's why I wasn't so descriptive until, if you look a couple bullet points down, I was actually looking at the outdoor cafe and restaurant as two different uses. I didn't want to comment much further until we clarified what exactly you were going for. Because this could, no, it's okay. Because basically one would dictate one direction and one would dictate the other. Based on what Brian had just said, I'm thinking that he's wanting to do a restaurant with an accessory outdoor cafe or part to it. So if I were to advise you, Brian, if we were in my office, I would tell you what you're telling me is that. But you take that, what I said, and go and decide, because there is an outdoor cafe use on its own, but that would require no indoor seating. So there's a couple definitions. That's why I just recommended to go take a look at them. And Andy's familiar. He can probably guide you further. And Rick, I want to go back because it's a good question, because are we then reissuing a special use permit for a mixed use building, including the restaurant cafe, or are we treating the restaurant cafe as its own separate special use? How would that?
I think the best way to do it is exactly how you proceeded, Corey, and that is we let the applicant define what they want, and then we'll go ahead and figure out and look at the various provisions, both that are clear or that may have some ambiguity for you to resolve. And then we decide what they need, whether they need one type of special use permit, maybe two special use permits. But I think it's always best to let the applicant define their own application, and then we'll react to that. And then if they want to adjust it based upon those requirements to change it, then they'll do that during the process.
Okay,
So
I agree. Yep.
Just to clarify, the reason why I said outdoor cafe / restaurant is because that's how it's listed in the use table. If you go to the use table, that's what it says. So that's what we put on there. We didn't, we're not contemplating whether we're doing one or the other. To me, this is an outdoor cafe. I didn't see a definition for outdoor cafe, but I know there's special uses for it, and we're ready to meet all of those uses. So we didn't mean to confuse you with both of those. We put that there because that's what it said. That's what the use said in the code. So
that makes sense, and I agree with you with that. I just wanted to be a little more specific on if you were trying to do an outdoor cafe / restaurant, which is, in my opinion, an outdoor cafe is a restaurant. It's just the outdoor cafe part is what typifies what you're actually trying to do. And then you have the restaurant. So I said that to get a better idea of what you were doing, instead of, because what Brian just said doesn't meet with what you're saying, outdoor cafe / restaurant. It sounds more like he wants to do a basic restaurant with the outdoor cafe as an accessory. So that's what I mean. Because the codes do go two different directions based on the size you can do, and there's a bunch more you'll see as you dive into the code. I don't know if anybody remembers, we went through this with the proposal for the hotel up on, I think it was one right across from your building, Andy, up on 184 Main Street. So you can see how there's different allowances based on what use you choose. So I would just go look and just really see which one your plan fits, and then you can kind of go from there.
okay.
And also, as Corey brought up, in addition to that special use permit, there's also a building mixed use special use permit. So you would have to comply with all of the requirements for both special use permits.
Just to clarify a quick question, because it's hard to do these things when you're looking at a map. So basically where the tables are set up right now, or where they were for when you were doing outdoor dining behind McGillicuddy's, that would remain parking. And then sort of the part to the left would be where the tables would be. Am I reading the site plan correctly?
That's correct.
Okay.
Andy, can you put up the site plan? Or Alana?
Here, I have it if you want me. I can do it.
Yeah, I usually can't share the screen or else I can't take minutes, so someone else has.
Hold
to.
on, I can do it if
Okay.
I can think. My brain still works. Hold on. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, so that area right now, this, I'm using my finger like that. That's the back of McGillicuddy's. This is obviously where the Starbucks is. And so these would remain parking spaces, and then this area would be the tables. Okay,
Correct.
gotcha.
I have a question. How do you envision people walking there? Would they be walking behind Aerial Dental, and then there's that area right there where there's those dumpsters, or would you have them come across, where that gate is at Arcos and cut across the parking lot? Because it doesn't seem like there's really like a sidewalk that kind of gets you there. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, Andrew, I'm going to take this, okay? The way I envision it, you could enter through the municipal lot if you're looking at the diagram to the right and walk through the parking lot. And there's also an opening if you're looking straight at the restaurant from the patio to the left, there's another entrance to the municipal lot, correct? And there's a sidewalk right in front of the retail space, correct?
So have you ordered a survey yet of the property?
Yeah,
We
so
did.
these are things that we're gonna develop when we get more into it, be able to get people into it from different directions. This survey is from an old survey that we used to get to this point. We ordered a full survey, so next time you guys see us, it'll be an up-to-date survey showing exactly where everything is.
Yeah, just keep an eye on that corner you just explained, Brian, because my understanding is there's a very close fine line. Your neighbor actually owns what everybody thinks is municipal parking lot is actually the owner of 58 Main Street. So when you do your survey, I'm curious to see where that lines up, because I would hate for you to think that's an entrance that would spill out into somebody else's property.
Got it.
It's
There's a
close. I
big-
mean, you might be fine, but it's close. Sorry.
There's a big tree right there. And where you're planning to build a wall, there's already sort of a shallow wall. But I don't think there's, and while there is a sidewalk in front of what's the smoke shop now, it doesn't really connect to the parking lot. There's like a wall there and a big tree. Anyhow, I hope the trees don't get down. There's that big tree there, and then there's the one around on the other side.
So my part of the survey we'll locate all the existing trees, and I have a professional landscape architect on staff we're gonna go out there and take a look at what trees are there, where we can plant them, and certainly if it's a good tree, we'll do everything we can to save it. And also look at different access points as far as where the walls are and things.
Also, there's a lot of dumpster right there, and then also around the back of the building. I don't know if those are your dumpsters or they belong to somebody else.
Those dumpsters are, two of those dumpsters are Starbucks. Two of those are mine. They are sitting out in clear view. Just with the pandemic, we basically moved them over there temporarily to accommodate the outside seating that I was using this season for McGillicuddy's. So those would go back. I mean, I can put them back anytime, back up against the building. And the Starbucks dumpsters would be in that alcove when you walk into the parking lot and look to the right behind the McGillicuddy's back door. There's two the 2 Starbucks dumpsters will be right in that alcove.
Brian, this is Dennis. I'm looking at the site plan. I'm very familiar with the area. And I think you've come up with a really exciting approach.
Thank you.
This outdoor dining is the thing the future of restaurants. And you're taking an area that is kind of dull with the municipal. I go to Ricky's barber shop, so I cut food there all the time. And looking at your outdoor seating, I think it's really going to be an enhancement to that area. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Dennis. I mean, I think that we've seen living in the village specifically, the detriment that, the hit that restaurants have taken. And I think it's a good plan for the future because Lord knows, where we're headed. But yeah, I'm in agreement with Dennis. So.
Brian, are you looking to continue to do outdoor dining for McGillicuddy's in the season?
I will do outdoor dining in that parking lot until they tell me I can't. And I know that I'm shocked, but New York State was very accommodating. With we're very accommodating with where restaurants could put outdoor seating, but I know that will come to an end very soon. So I would probably foresee maybe the spring and possibly the summer if our governor lets us continue to do that, but it's definitely temporary.
Okay.
Are the parking spaces that are just above where the tables would be designated for the tenants in the residential part?
No, the designated spots for the tenants are directly in front of the residences. You'll see 6 spots on the plan.
Okay.
Any other questions?
The parking for people who are coming to the cafe would mainly be the municipal lot then?
Correct. I've got another probably 6 or 7 spots that I could open up for customers.
Okay. And that's where there's tables there now, right?
Correct.
McGillicuddy's tables. Okay.
But Brian, it's Dennis again. A lot of people who will be coming to your outdoor dining could very well be parking in other parts of New Paltz. When they come in, they park someplace and they're walking all around. And as I say, this really is a very, very nice approach. So
yeah,
probably have a lot, as I say, a lot of people coming there who have parked in other parts of the village.
Thank you. Yeah, let me say too, I'm looking to make a substantial investment in this property and really beautify that corner. When you pull into that municipal lot, you were looking at a smoke shop. And with the landscaping, a new facade, a new roof, and a beautiful brick wall, I think that really will beautify that town center.
No, I agree. You want to do me a favor, Brian?
Sure.
I live on Plains Road. Will somebody come down and do some improvements at the Pencil Hill Plains Road intersection where that warehouse is?
I'll put my best man on it.
Sorry.
It's on the market, Dennis.
That's
It's
a
on the
sore
market.
point.
Okay. Well, we look forward to getting some further information. Andy, you know the drill. Get in touch with Lana. She'll give you the packet. You'll have a series of things that you need to complete. And then you'll get a planning board number, and then we'll start moving forward on it. Interesting concept, and we appreciate you guys coming here. Do you have any further questions for the group while we're all assembled here?
Just that, based on what I'm hearing, we like to come back with everything, full landscape, what we're going to do with the wall, what we're going to do with the building, what's the sign going to look like. I think that makes sense at this point, if the board agrees to just come back with all the details.
Yeah, if I could just say, I think this is one of those projects that there's obviously going to be lots of questions about. So the more that you can come with earlier, I think the sooner we can respond to things, even including like the details of the wall or the landscaping. Yeah, the more we have, the earlier, the better, I think.
I agree, and I would invite everybody to go to that area, take a look at it, physically be present there so you can get an idea of exactly what's going on, what it looks like, before we start taking the deep dive into the material.
Great.
Rick,
I have a question
You
anything
guys
for
missed
Brian.
it. I already said it earlier that I drove by twice today to make sure that I was late.
Hey, Brian, I got a
the
question
tenants
for
weren't
you.
like, who's that girl?
I probably have
Yeah.
the most important question that nobody's asked yet. What kind of food? Don't tell me it's another pizza place.
No, I'm kicking around a few things, but what I'd like to do is kind of like a tapas, taco, shareable appetizers, something light shareable food, Sunday brunch, weekend brunch.
No Shake Shack then.
No, no, and no nightclub.
There you go.
That was it. I'm just being funny. Thank you.
So,
Corey, that was a good question. I don't know how that wasn't my first question.
You always got to ask that first. Always.
All right. Well, with that information, thank you, gentlemen. I do appreciate you coming to the board, and we look forward to getting a full application from you.
thank you.
All right, thanks for your time.
Very welcome. Okay, so now on with the remaining board business. Alana, has there been any public comments?
Nope.
Okay, so without any public comments, anything else? At this point, we've completed with the initial application review. Thank you for having all the questions. Again, I would like to ask you to go by and take a look at that site so that you're very familiar with it, and we'll see what they come back with. And I think that's really,
No, right.
what's that?
I said it's buried in snow right now.
Yeah, that's true. Everything's buried in
Take a look
snow.
at it right now.
So with that in mind, the next order of business is I need a motion to adjourn.
No motion.
So motion.
And a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you for a quick meeting, and thank you for your questions and for attending the training. A lot of good information there. If you would please go back and review the information that Rick gave us in the 212.23 section and the 212.26 and 51 sections. Looks like there's a lot of information there that'll help us out. With that, thank you
Hey,
very
Rick,
much. Corey, thanks
One
for
thing,
attending.
hey, Rick,
Yes,
it's Dennis.
right.
Thanks very much. I really appreciate your training. And I think about you about this time every night because I'm doing an online, I'm going for my real estate license. And I have a big appreciation for what attorneys go through, particularly in law school, because I'm going through agents right now, and it's really a detailed thing. And and I'm sure when you and Ashley and your group over there were in law school, it's really a daunting experience. But
Well,
thanks
one thing
again
I would-
for all your help.
Sure thing, Dennis. I will tell you that there are eons between Ashley's law school and my law school days.
Okay.
Don't date
Rick-
yourself, Rick.
Yeah, Rick used to ride his dinosaur to school is what he's trying to tell you. There you go. All right, folks, thanks very much, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.